Yeah, somebody said what was Lemmy's first band before Motorhead, and I said Engine Foot. And, may have been appreciated via the eyebrow movement here in the clubhouse, but not a lot of applauding went on. But that's all right. It's all right.
Eyebrow.
Well, I think I picked another word for motor, which was engine, and then I went from the head down to the foot, All right. I didn't write it down or anything, but I appreciate people are listening.
You didn't do that in bed over the weekend?
Special.
That wasn't a joke you led with?
Can we institute something? Because I like lessons and laws and like societal norms. Can we institute something? There were 2 pizza boxes back there. I just happened to go check out one, and it's empty. Would you guys all be for, and I don't know
A vote of the office?
who the individual was who took the last piece of pizza.
Probably the new guy.
But can we make a nationwide law that you start training your kids on this? Like you don't get out of the 6th grade, which is, if you take the last piece of fucking pizza, throw away the fucking box. Don't shut the lid and walk away, because then I think there's a piece of pizza in there, and then I open it up and it's empty because you had the last piece, but you never threw away the box. But the rule is you must chuck the box. Hold on. Addendum. When you take the last piece of pizza, you either chuck the box or you leave the lid open. If you don't have a place to do it.
Okay.
But you don't shut the lid and walk away. And by the way, I'll say the same thing for mayonnaise and Tabasco and everything else. When the fucking thing is empty, don't put it away.
Oh my
God,
that's my
out.
biggest pet peeve.
Throw it away.
My kids will sneak a bag of chips and then leave it with a clip on it and everything. And I'm like, who did this?
What's wrong with the clip?
Well, because they finished the bag and it's just crumbs at the bottom. So I go in thinking there's a bag of chips, and they've tried to hide it. I mean, maybe it's clever. What are your thoughts though on, so say you have 1 cheese pizza and 1 pepperoni pizza, and all of the cheese pizza is gone. Home Alone storyline starting right here. But there's like a couple pieces of cheese, and then somebody just, to condense space, puts some of the cheese in the pepperoni box. Does that annoy you? Or
no, I don't mind consolidation.
Okay.
I don't mind consolidation.
Even if it's consolidation of 2 different kinds?
Because I
had a girlfriend that got annoyed at that one time.
Look, here let me explain. I like where your head's at because there's effort.
Yes.
Walking away from the empty pizza box just makes you a piece of shit. See what I did there?
But
No, I just mean that means you don't care about anyone. You're lazy. You got your piece of pizza and you're done.
I think I'm fine.
The consolidation thing is a calorie burner. I like it.
Okay.
I'm fine with it. And I don't think it's confusing. You open it up and you go, okay, we have 3 cheese and 3 pepperoni left. I'll do the math here. Now, but we do need a ratio consideration, which is to say, we do, and I've been yelling about this my whole life, we do way too much. And anyone that's been on a set, a movie set or a TV set, when they send the PA out to the lunch run, they'll go, because they'll do it when you're filming. Someone's going on a lunch run, and they'll go, all right, we're going to Jersey Mike's. And then somebody will inevitably tell this person, they'll go, get 10 beef, get 10 roast beef, 10 turkey, and 10 veggies. And the person will start leaving, and I'll go, no one's here who's a vegetarian. Or there is, it's one, and she packed her own lunch. Or no one's, and then...
Don't order 10 veggies.
Right, but they do that. And then at the end, there's 9 veggies sitting there, and then what people do with veggie sandwiches, they'll pick through the corpse of it, like they'll start pulling cheese off and stuff like that. But, okay, don't do it. Get your numbers right. Like, I go, look... Don't get 10 veggie if there's no vegetarians on this set. Go ask who's a vegetarian. Don't just go. That's one less
gluten-free is the thing now.
Sandwich we're gonna have. I was at on the road, as I'd explain, and I was in Oregon, and I was at the Ramada Inn, or I don't know, whatever the hotel. They have the continental breakfast, from 6 a.m. to 10. And I went down there just to check it out, get some coffee. And I went down there, and they had the chafing dish that had the pre-made I'm calling them omelets, but sort of miniature little egg and cheese or whatever. Nothing
like a frittata kind of thing.
Yeah, it was a small. Looked like they're the size of a Jack in the Box taco on its side, right? And it just had two things. One said veggie and egg white, and the other just said cheddar cheese.
Yep.
And regular egg. And I go, all right, well, that sounds good. And I lifted it up, and the cheddar cheese was gone. And there were 11 veggie egg white ones because nobody wants the veggie egg white one. But what I'm saying is it takes just as much effort to make a veggie egg white one as it does to make the cheddar cheese one. So why don't we just have a very few? It's like, and then you go in the room and they have coffees, and there's 2 regular and 2 decaf. We're not 50-50. I've been to Starbucks 1,000 times. I've never heard anyone order a decaf.
Half of the places ordering decaf.
It doesn't. That's not the ratio. It's not half the guys at the Bend Ramada Inn want the veggie one. No, it's less than 10%. And it's the same as it is with the coffee. It's less than 10%. Don't make your ratio. Fix your ratio.
But this is the problem, though. It's the loudest voices get the most attention. It's like Shake Shack used to have the tastiest peanut butter milkshake. And then they announced a few years ago, I think when I was pregnant with baby number 3 and craving that sucker. Oh, no, we're not going to do this anymore because out of respect for people that come into our stores with a peanut allergy. And I was third trimester raging. And I told the manager, I'm like, oh, you mean the less than 2% of the country that has a peanut allergy?
Well, that really has a peanut allergy.
That really has a peanut allergy? Well, EpiPen needed peanut allergy?
Right, 46% claim to have one. All right.
But it's the same thing. They have to do it so then that one vegetarian that goes there can't be like, oh my God, the Ramada Inn in Bend was out of my vegetarian omelet and they're anti-vegetarian.
Well, the only thing that was good about Southwest was the peanuts, and those are all gone. All right, let's do some news.
Let's do some news. I don't know if there's any good news coming out of Minnesota these days. It's kind of crazy. We have video of Don Lemon, a former CNN host. He's been put, quote unquote, on notice by the Justice Department after he joined a group of anti-ICE agitators who stormed a church in Minneapolis during a service over the last couple of days. It was this Sunday. Lemon has been posting independent journalism that he's super duper proud of since being fired by CNN, and he's been documenting the Minnesota chaos following the fatal ICE shooting of Renee Nicole Good. He entered the church along with anti-ICE agitators and began filming and told that the viewers there at the church and during his live stream that this was the freedom to protest and what the First Amendment was all about. Let's watch what he thinks the First Amendment is all about because we can break that down later.
What do you think of this? I mean, this is unacceptable. It's shameful.
This is the pastor
It's shameful
of the church.
to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship. So,
but there were folks who will say,
I have to take care of my flock.
Okay, but listen, we live there's a Constitution and the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
Yeah. We're here to worship. We're here to worship Jesus because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me, though.
We're here to worship Jesus. Yes. That's why we're here. Yes. Okay, that's why we're here. Okay. That's what we're about.
Don't you think Jesus would be understanding
we're about
and love these folks?
We're about spreading the love of Jesus.
But did you try to talk to them as a Christian?
No one is willing to talk.
Okay.
I have to take care of my church and my family, so I asked that you actually would also leave this building.
You don't want us to chronicle what happened?
Unless you're here to worship.
I'm always worship. I'm a Christian.
We're here to worship. Yeah. We're here to worship.
I suck a little cock. Yeah. All right. Okay. A couple things.
The hand.
Every single one of these former CNN or anybody news journalists who go off on their own always surprise, hard leftists.
Oh, yeah.
And the whole time,
shock and awe.
The whole time they're employed by CNN, they're doing this. You don't know what my politics are. You don't know how I vote. You're all just crazy leftist lunatics who pretended to be middle-of-the-road journalists working for
really
CNN.
Did a shitty job of pretending to be.
Well, you acted like we didn't know who you were.
We were the judgmental ones. So he talked there, by the way, the whole, get your hands off me is such a girly move.
I know.
But the pastor, Don Lemon put his hand on the pastor reciprocated. I didn't see a push. Where's the push, man?
He was trying to keep little reins.
So, Carmi, Harmeet Dillon, who's awesome, she wrote over on X. She's the Justice Department's Assistant Attorney General specifically for the Civil Rights Division. She said a house of worship is not a public forum for your protest. It's a space protected from exactly such acts by federal criminal and civil laws. Nor does the First Amendment protect your pseudo-journalism of disrupting a prayer service. So this is where, as a super-duper pro-life person that's been kind of against the FACE Act, I'm going to point and laugh at my leftist friends, because the FACE Act prevents pro-lifers from praying or protesting within a certain space of a reproductive facility.
Yeah.
And the Planned Parenthood and leftists use this all the time to stop old ladies from praying outside of Planned Parenthoods.
Yeah.
But this also, the same act protects this church and any religious disruptions, specifically on private property, which is what these people were doing.
Yeah. By the way, Harmeet's going to come out to D.C. at the Kennedy Center and come say hi.
Oh, that's
awesome.
awesome.
I'm out there on January 31st. So we sort of text back and forth a little bit.
That's awesome. So Don Lemon, to double down on you being right about him being a radical leftist, he did a podcast interview after this incident, and he called the people at the church white supremacists.
And there's a certain degree of entitlement. I think people who are, in the religious groups like that, it's not the type of Christianity that I practice, but I think that they're entitled, and that entitlement comes from a supremacy, a white supremacy. And they think that this country was built for them, that it is a Christian country, when actually we left England because we wanted religious freedom. It's religious freedom, but only if you're a Christian and only if you're a white male, pretty much. And so, yeah, I absolutely 100%, but it's an intimidation tactic. And, I said, I don't understand how I've become the face of it when I was a journalist. I do understand that I'm the biggest name there. And I'm also, as I was on with my producers this morning, you and Kylie talk all the time. My producers were saying, I said, how did I become the face of this? And my producer said, Don, you're a gay black man.
If you remember that, it'll solve every problem.
I think the guys have a picture of one of the white supremacists that he was talking about there. It's a scared Asian dad huddling his son and with his Asian wife sitting in the pew looking shocked. Even when he was harassing the pastor there and the pastor was graciously giving him time and answering him, did you see the white mom and the black mom walking past, like trying to get their kids out of the church?
Yeah, look, first off, they're all narcissists. And really what they cannot reconcile is nobody gives a shit about them. Mm-hmm. So the worst thing you can say to a narcissist is, who? Who are you? Nobody cares. I mean, not even in a bad way. Just, I don't know who you are.
Yep. White supremacists right there.
Right. So in the world, so it's like when you're on a schoolyard and you have a crush on somebody, you hope that person has a crush on you and you can go steady. But in lieu of that, it's better almost when they come and pull on your pigtails or kick you in the shin or something. But the worst you can have is nothing. Mm-hmm. I don't know who that person is, and I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the worst. So we don't know who these people are, and we're not interested. And at a certain point, they get bored with their obscurity, and then they have to come to us and cause. All of these things are self-inflicted. Mm-hmm. Every single thing they do is they get out, they get in front, they push, they shove, and then they become victims. Then what Don Lemon does is he goes into a church, which is in the middle of a service, and goes, as a gay man, as a black man, I know I'm not well. Then you don't have to come in here. Uh-huh. So it's all self-inflicted, everything they do.
The best part was the end of that clip, if we can pull it back up. Where he talks about, Don Lemon's like, oh, don't these people have a First Amendment right? Like, don't you want to talk to them? And the pastor's like, none of these people want to talk to us.
Right.
Like, and I think that, so here's the other thing. Now we know news reports. That pastor right there has the same last name as an ICE officer that works at like a Minneapolis facility. So these anti-ICE protesters went to this poor dude's church who might be completely unaffiliated with the ICE officer that they were trying to dox and target.
Right.
And they want us to think that they're the good guys?
Well, let me just give you the kind of I will give you the long and the short of all of this. Most people work this way. The people who think like I think and Alicia thinks and the normal people. You just go, all right, let's see. The Rams are playing Seattle. Good for the championship, whatever. I'm a Rams fan, and I would be happy just to take my son and go to a Rams bar and watch the Rams game amongst Rams fans. Now, here's the problem with the super angry Seattle fans and all the crazy bitches. They're not happy to go to the Seattle bar and enjoy the Seattle game. They would do that for the first quarter. But at a certain point, instead of just sitting with like-minded Seattle people and cheering your team on, that's not enough for you. Then you have to get up and you have to go to the Rams bar. And then you walk in and you go, I have every right to be here. And the Rams guys go, fine, have a beer, sit down. And you go, okay. And then you realize you're not getting enough attention just sitting and having a beer. So then you get up and you go, you know what? I want to change the channel. I want to watch women's basketball. And then we go, hold on, dude. No, we're watching the Rams game. And matter of fact, why don't you go back to the Seattle bar and pitch that at the Seattle bar? Or better yet, just go to the Seattle bar and shut the fuck up and watch it. Now, I'm not doing it. Then at a certain point, you stand up on the bar and you start reaching for the TV remote and you start changing the channels, and a Rams fan grabs you and pulls you back down, and then you start screaming, I'm under attack.
Yes.
That's exactly what all you assholes are doing. Go to the Seattle bar, watch your fucking team, and shut the fuck up. That's all we're trying to do here. But you have to do this, and then at some point you become a victim because you've come into our bar and you want to change that. And by the way, if you just wanted to come into our bar wearing your Seattle jersey and sit down and have a Michelob Ultra, you would have been left alone. Now, if I put my Rams jersey on and went to your bar, I wouldn't have been left alone.
They probably would have been left alone had they gone into the church, sat through the service, then asked to talk to the pastor after.
But you can't do that.
Even if they had protested on the street, but they went into private property.
That's right, because you need to be a victim. Because you have to be a victim.
As a church-going mama, it really pissed me off seeing those poor kids because they have no idea what's going on.
No, I know.
And now they're terrorized and afraid to go to church and asking mommy what happened and why those people were yelling at them.
Yes. Just go to your Seattle bar, get a beer, and shut the fuck up. That's all. Easy. Easy way to go. And then while you're on the Rams bar trying to change the TV set and people are yelling at you, you're yelling, I didn't ask for any of this. I don't want any of this.
Why are you hitting me, bro?
I know. That's what you're doing. So just fucking stay in your bar. But you don't want that. That's not what you can't just sit there and enjoy what you enjoy.
You know, because of you, I say bro more now.
Thank you, bro.
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 My 12-year-old says bruh.
Bruh.
That's like a kid thing now. You know, they say like bruh.
I didn't know that, but I do know if you say American, that's fine. But if you say American, you just start with an M. That means you're a super patriot. American.
It depends on what crowds.
American.
Not in Minneapolis right now.
No.
All right. So Matthew McConaughey was recently on the On Purpose with Jay Shetty podcast, and he spoke about his dislike for participation medals and how chasing perfection is really what drives him.
Yeah. Well, but I'm also, as you know from the book, I'm not into extra credit. I don't like 4.2 GPAs. That tells me like, well, what happened? Then we're not given the right test. If 4 was the pinnacle, you know, that means not many people should be getting it, if anybody.
Yeah.
So now we're getting 4 2s, 4 4s. That tells me we've over leveraged the original task, or we've added amnesty or too many places to not do have the real competence and merit at the task that you're supposed to give. Because, especially I think in the West, because we want everyone to feel really great. Participation trophies, 4.2 GPA. Well, I feel better.
He goes on to say, but like
Shanty seemed bored or didn't know what he was talking about. Or, I've won. Okay, first off, 1,000%.
Yep.
There's no such thing as giving 110%. We'll just do 100%. That'll be that. And 4.0, that's the max. You can get it or not, but we don't have to keep going above what we had. And we need a better term for participation trophy, because participation trophies have always existed and they're a good thing.
Do you think they are?
Yes.
Because you're a part of the team and everybody's working together kind of situation? Or?
Well, you know, it's a weird thing, and maybe it's just because I played way too much football and Pop Warner football.
Yeah.
A participation trophy is just that. It's a participation trophy.
Everybody knows you're not the first place person.
Everybody who shows up to this 10K is going to get a little button that said, I ran this 10K. Somebody's going to win this 10K and they'll get a trophy. And there'll be a best offensive player, best defensive player, most valuable player. Sometimes they'll break it down like best lineman, best defensive back and stuff like that, most improved, blah, blah, blah. But everybody gets a participation trophy because everyone who came here went to all the practices, went to all the games, and basically made it through a participation.
And also helped the team. Like if you're talking about a team sport.
Yeah, I mean...
not everybody's the quarterback, but it does take a team effort to win a game.
Yeah, but you could have just been riding the pine the whole time, as we would say, but you still scrimmaged and practiced and played the defense on the scrimmage and stuff like that. Listen, a participation trophy saying... And I know what he means, but we need a better term because it's like saying we shouldn't be handing out these high school diplomas. It's like, no, if you went to high school and you completed high school, then you get a diploma. You don't get valedictorian and you don't get a free ride to Harvard and you don't get class clown or best looking. You just get a piece of paper that says you went here and you completed this. Now, it's worth as much as a participation trophy is, which is not anything, but you should still have it. Yeah. So it's called something. They're sort of saying, stop giving everyone the most valuable trophy. But here's really what they did. They reverse engineered it. They went, everyone gets a participation trophy, and we're not going to give out most valuable trophy because that'll make people feel ashamed. So then the participation
trophy became a bad thing because you weren't giving out the best thing.
Right. And the participation trophy, and like I said, especially you play football, you go to all the practices and sweat it out and run all the wind sprints and do all the push-ups and stuff. Good. Here's a fucking trophy. You should get a trophy for that. Just like you should get you should get a piece of paper that says you graduated North Hollywood High. It doesn't mean you're top of the class. It doesn't mean anything.
Or whatever my homeschool school was called.
Right. You just won. The Pots and Pans International. You were there.
Yeah.
And
I learned some things.
Yeah.
Learned how to read.
Yeah.
I was the valedictorian of my class, though.
Really? You beat out your kid brother? Sweet.
That's the joke.
It's got to be.
There's some really good homeschool jokes.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Thank you.
What are the good homeschool jokes?
The good homeschool jokes. Oh gosh, the other one is like, I was always the teacher's pet. Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you the only reason why. Sorry, I don't want to be a nitpick, but I keep saying now with homeschooling, they get a collective together.
They do.
Right?
That's cheating.
Is that cheating?
Well, when they go to like a co-op isn't always cheating. Like I have a girlfriend down the South Bay that runs an awesome co-op, and that's like once or twice a week the kids get together and hang out and play. But they're literally kind of like charter schools essentially, where you bring your kid for a half day and somebody is teaching your kid. That's like a type of private school to me. That's not like homeschooling.
But there is such a homeschooling where it's like 3 families come together.
Those were pods, and those kind of started during COVID. But they're still paying a teacher, so that ain't homeschooling either.
No. But I mean, is there a thing where you go, this mother's going to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then that mother's going to do like...
I have heard of that. I've never experienced that when I was homeschooled or when I homeschooled my girls. I didn't do that. It was me and them. I
think my mom probably would have made the worst school teacher.
I felt like I did. Probably. It's so hard, man. I'm not smart enough to do it past 6th grade. History, Bible, literature is my jam. Math, nope. This is why my husband makes the money, and I just spend it.
Good for you.
Speaking of money, billionaire developer, friend of the program, Rick Caruso, won't be running for California governor or LA mayor. This bomb dropped on us on Friday, and I went to dinner with some friends that night that were pissed off at him. I'm curious about your take about this. But Rick Caruso spent a lot of last year publicly muling this run for California governor or Los Angeles mayor, and his ultimate decision in his Instagram post that he posted on Friday evening was neither. He said that he will not run for either office this year, putting an end to the projected all the speculation that he would launch some sort of political bid in 2026. He said, quote, "After much reflection and many heartfelt conversations with my family, I've decided not to pursue elected office at this time. It was a difficult decision, and I am deeply disappointed to step back from an election that is so critical to California's future." He encouraged people that he wants to keep working on fire recovery through his nonprofit Steadfast LA and help people rebuild their homes, et cetera. So a lot of people on the right, and I'm sure you saw this, were like, shame on you. You kind of held up potentially good candidates. You held up these candidates from getting money, and you like kissed the ring and the booty of Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom. I mean, I like Rick. I don't agree with him on everything. And I think that people who have said that he is like Trump light are totally off base. But I don't know that I go to the, oh, shame on you. You held up everything for everybody. What's your stance?
I like him. I know him personally. He's a good guy. I sit around and I just sort of think about LA and what we've done in the last few years, and to think that we could have had Rick Caruso, and instead, you know, it's kind of one thing where you go, we could have had Rick Caruso, but instead we got this guy who's something like Rick Caruso. We got Karen Bass. Mm-hmm. So basically,
the antithesis of Rick Caruso.
If LA was a franchise, we'd be like, look, it's between Tom Brady and Ryan Leaf. Who's going to be the franchise quarterback for LA? And we went, we're taking Ryan Leaf. And then we watched Tom Brady's career while Ryan flamed out. And it's like, we could have had this, but we chose that. And that we chose was the antithesis of this and the worst thing that could happen. And again, just another dingbat who has no interest or thoughts, or maybe he's just a communist. I don't know if Karen. I mean, she's been to Cuba enough. I don't know what her. I don't know if it's incompetence.
She's a little Bernie Sanders light, I think.
Oh yeah, she's real. Like when you look into Karen Bass, you can kind of go, oh come on, give me a break, but. I'm sorry, if you've been to Cuba 17 times, maybe there is some connection there. I've not been to Cuba ever because it's not my thing, but you've been there 17 times. How many times has Karen Bass been to Cuba?
Almost as many as Bernie, maybe. Didn't he honeymoon there?
He honeymooned.
15 trips?
He honeymooned in the Soviet Union. She visited Cuba 15 times, reportedly taking, 15 trips, young community activist. All right, I'm just saying...
Wait, so she has been 18 times. So she went on 15 trips in the 70s and then several more, like between the 70s and 2020.
18 times.
18 times.
Okay. Well, maybe she has some allegiance or some thoughts about their way of governing, and perhaps she took some of that back here.
I don't know if I've been back to Oklahoma to visit my mom 18 times since I left at 18.
Well, that's kind of my thing. Like if you
have an affinity for a place.
If I had been to the Netherlands 20 times, and then I was running for mayor, you could think that some of my thought process might think about, well, how would they do it over there? Mm-hmm. But anyway, so we could add Rick Caruso. We got a dunce instead who may not even just be incompetent. She may just be sort of secretly, quietly doing what we just think of her as dumb. Or like incompetent.
Incompetent. I would say incompetent.
Right, but it might go deeper than that. Like I can't.
I don't know if you can be dumb having been able to win and keep office in politics.
I shouldn't say dumb.
Yeah,
I shouldn't
that's
say
why
dumb.
I think incompetence or wrong.
I think wrong. Yeah.
Especially like based on our belief systems.
She blames the homelessness on, income inequality. Mm-hmm. So
which is stupid.
Right. So here's the point. Maybe she's not dumb, but she has super dumb thoughts all the time. Which I would argue makes you de facto dumb.
That's true. I see it now. Mm-hmm. I understand that correlation. It is interesting though that he talks about like, I'm sorry to sit this out. I don't know. It kind of read to me as like maybe more of a personal decision than like a strategic, political, or business one.
Rick's got a pretty good life going for himself.
Well, at that event that you guys did together at the Americana, he talked about like the importance of public service, and public service isn't just serving in politics, which I would completely agree with. And I think that that's a good thing for the average citizen to understand. Like, in order to sacrifice and serve your neighborhood, your family, your country, you don't have to run for mayor, right? But sometimes we need guys like a Rick that are capable of like putting their reputation, their money on the line and doing it. And I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm now voting for Spencer Pratt.
I'm fine with him. She was in a group called Veceremos Brigade, which is basically Castro Youth Brigade.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's good.
Just a stone's throw away from Hitler Youth.
Why shouldn't she run
Castro Youth?
California, or at least Los Angeles?
Oh, Lord have mercy.